Thokozani etindlini, thokozani emakhaya. Sivusele etindlondlweni, sivusele kini bogogo nabomkhulu, sivusele nasemadlotini ethu sonke. Sithi thokozani, siyabonga kusijoyina futhi namhla lapha ka-Afro-Savvy. I'm going to switch to English. Thank you very much for joining us here at Afro-Savvy. Greetings to all. Sithi thokozani, that's how we greet. Sithi makhosi kini nonke, siqamagwini. Today is a very special episode for me, specifically because this year is Gubaba Gim, because he is a brother, a spiritual brother to my Baba, who is my Gobela, Ungwe Mabala. His name is Manzolwandle, so I call him Baba Manzolwandle. He will be taking us through this session, or this third lesson on Ukuthwasa. I want to see if Baba is online so I can invite him to join us. Thank you guys, thank you very much. Thank you for love. Thank you for being a part of this journey, the Afro-Savvy journey, also for being part of my personal journey. I see you, Baba. But to check
Thokoza.
Thokoza khehla unjani ngonyama?
Thokoza.
Ngiyaphila Ndlondo. Ifoni yakho after uyiphakamise.
Oh, imake gogo siboneke. Hey, technology.
Thokoza.
Injani myself?
Thokoza.
Thokoza ke.
Thokoza Baba. It's a special day at Afro-Savvy today. It is for one, we reached 5,000 viewers on Afro-Savvy, subscribers onto our YouTube channel. So thank you everybody for that. It becomes very special also because for the first time today, we shared or premiered a conversation no Gobela wami.
Yes, of course. I've seen on YouTube. Yeah.
You saw it, Baba?
Yes. I saw it.
It's a very, very special day. It's 2 days on the market already in that aspect. And then now we have you, who is the brother to my Baba. So yes, we welcome eDlozini Institute into the house for one. Lapha sikhule khona thina nawe. Thokoza Baba. Siyabonga kakhulu empanzeni kaGazini, siyabonga kakhulu kusikhulisa sibe bantwana, sibe bantu labatawuletha impilo esiveni. Siyabonga kakhulu. Ngibonga nakuwe Baba for joining us, for agreeing to do this lesson. Thank you very much. I've sat with you a number of times, and yes. I have seen the teacher in you from just the conversations that we have had when we have had the opportunity, and that is why, and those conversations led to this invitation to teach the lesson, the third lesson on Ukuthwasa. Again, I will say, please, okay, let's start with you introducing yourself and introduce, because I've spoken about but I'd also like for you to briefly speak about Neosi, and then we will get into the lesson. Thokoza ke.
Thokoza gogo. Hayi, igama Mthuthuzeli. Isename uNsiko, kodwa ke ngizalwa kaMbobosi. Yes, iNeosi Healing Institute. It is the institute yabantu abadala bala ekhaya. uNeosi being the gift giver and the leader of umsebenzi weDlozi kumo. Inguye umuntu wangibizela ukuthi mangihambe ngiyothwasa. Thokoza.
Thokoza ke.
Siyabonga.
Thokozeni. You speak on you already touched on something very important. You speak of uNeosi iDlozi lakhaya. Uhambile wena wayofunza, and you went to train wamba wayothwasa eXayimbi. But lidloti lakhaya uNeosi. I think it's a very critical thing that people need to learn as we go through this journey, that when we go for training, we will be placed emabandleni, or into the stable, which is the bigger picture, which is the bigger, for lack of a better word, group. I will use group. This is the body in which where you are trained. Yes. But lapho ufunza, you learn the rules of leyo mpanzi leyo, but ekugcineni kwakho konke, the person that you work with, or lendloti losebenza udloti lakho. So it's lakithi ledlozi at the end of the day. I think it's a big thing to understand. Do you want to maybe expand or elaborate on this topic, eDlozini lasekhaya nempanze, because it is part of this lesson, Kehle.
Yes. Thokoza gogo, njengoba usoshile ukuthi thina sikhuliswe eXhayimpi Healing Institute. That's where lapho sikhuliswe khona ngogobela bethu umphathi mandla nobaba uSongindaba. But they did not give me eDlozi, or they did not instruct me ukuthi mangithwase. Abangibizanga besithi izothwasa or izothwasa lana. Lidlozi lami elingithumile lisho sithi ngoku the time has come for you to take upon umsebenzi wethu. There's a difference. Now, ngisuka as someone who's born to do this job or to do this calling at a certain time of my life. When the time comes, I'm led me to eXhayimpi. Kulapho ngifike ndakhuliswa khona eDlozini. Uneosi, being the gift giver. Remember, I always make this differentiation ebantwini ukuthi ungahamba uyothwasa umngunomdawo or neli umndiki noma neliphini idlozi olithwasayo. But before you become even aware of kune types zamadlozi as to athwaswayo, kunedlozi lakho kwenu laba abantu babezizangoma who are sending you to fulfill umsebenzi wakho. So there must always be a differentiation there, because abantu abaninzi bacabanga ukuthi mawufika kwaGobela kulapho khona uyonikwa idlozi khona. Awunikwa idlozi kwaGobela. Uphakamisa idlozi lakho kwenu. Because you are restoring the dignity of a destroyed dignity yakho kwenu.
Thokoza gogo. It's a very pertinent thing le sikhuluma ngayo, hey? Because it's not just the people going through the journey, it's also about the families of the people going through the journey. It's very important for them to be able to understand that. How does it differ and how does it show itself in comparison with the Umguni spirit, Umdao, or what would be the difference as a Gobela that you would say?
All right. I think to explain that one, Gogo, you have to take it this way. I was born Xhosa, raised Xhosa, right? And that has been my understanding. My family, my great-grandfathers and everyone before me that were in Nyanga, Izangoma before me, those people decided that they are going to choose me to take upon umsebenzi wami. Of course, there's a multitude of them, but Utato Mkhulu Manzolwandle being the leader of them all, that came through to say, I am giving you isikhwama sami. Now, where sikhuliswa khona eDlozini, we get trained to understand ukuthi kunedlozi lomnguni, kunedlozi lomdawo, kunedlozi lomndiki, onke amadlozi kunenzunza, all these types. That's where uGobela then checks ukuthi ingaba lo muntu uhlanganelwe ngawaphi amadlozi. Ngawaphi la madlozi ekufuneka ephakanyisiwe as the tools azosebenzisa ezisangoma. Idlozi lomnguni gogo, it could be blood related to you. It could not be blood related to you. Idlozi lomdawo could be blood related to you. It could not be, right? As a result, that's why you need to differentiate ukuthi at the center of it all, it is your lineage. Abantu bakokwenu, where is Angoma, that you must always make sure that you keep them in check and keep them satisfied. Ngoba ngabo would then lead you to Ambothwasa. Kubone all these signs, but at the center of it all is idlozi lakho lakokwenu, the gift giver, the person okhule lapha ekhaya ekwazi. Ase kuyakuchoose ukuthi wena uzoba ngumntana eDlozi, wena uzohamba uyothwasa. Then makufika kuthwaseni ukuthi okay, I must be ukuthi le ngane kanye kahle kahle ufuneka ithwasiswe nje ukuthi hayi prophet was called, ufuneka aphakamise prophet ngoba kunabogogo bakopabo omkhulu ababethandaza abafuna ukuthi baphakanyiswe kuye. Uthola ukuthi kunomnguni oyabona na idlozi lomnguni likhona idlozi lomndiki njalo njalo onke lamadlozi, then that's when you get initiated kuleyo nto.
Thokoza Kehle. Ndawukhuluma because you are a Gobela. You're a Gobela and you have trained your own children that I have actually been witness to. I would like to know what you would say is a signs that show the readiness of a patient that comes in to your Ndumba that is now ready to actually be initiated.
One of the things that we need to differentiate again is akathwasiswa Mthuthuzeli embodies amadlozi akhe afuna ukuthwasa. So it is not me, Mthuthuzeli, who's going to decide that I'm ready or not. It is eDlozini that says, now lengane sifuna ukuthi nithwasise, because now he needs to start working in terms of continue umsebenzi wethu. What are the signs? Umuntu uyamcheck emathanjeni gogo, umuntu uyamhlola, uhlola umuntu in different ways. Ubone ukuthi hayi lengane vele khona ukuthi umuntu kufuneka ethwasile, but these signs will always differ from every individual. Omunye uzofika literally abantu will come in, iDlozini liziphumele ngokwalo, lizikhulumele, lisho lithi licela ukuthi nisisize nisithwasise lengane. Abanye abantu won't have that privilege or that luck of having that opportunity, but there will be certain signs that they will be exhibiting. As umuntu obonakala ukuthi the line has been drawn, they have to start the process of initiation. It is not everyone who comes through to consult or eDlozini okufuneka thwase at that time. For example, in my case, I remember when my Gobela, before he became a Gobela to me, I was just a client. He noted 6 years ago, before I even started with Twasa, I khona eDlozini khona, but bayasho straight to ukuthi the time is not now. So Gobela has a responsibility to check those details. Because I mean, generally singasho sithi wonke umuntu uhamba neDlozini. But ingaba onke amadlozi afuna uthwasiswa na at that specific moment? No. So kuna signs that you need to be on lookout for. One, wena Mthuzayo as a client osho ukuthi hayi ungafika usho ukuthi mina bathi manize la ekhaya. And bathi angiphumi or ngizibone ngigqoke ilento iskate esibomvu, whatever it is, umuntu ubona ukuthi uza ne signs ezibonakalisayo ukuthi kufuneka vele ethwasisiwe. However, you need to still check and confirm. Ngoba again I'll repeat, asithwasisi umuntu ukuthwasa iDlozini. So umuntu may like into bungoma and feel ukuthi oh, I just need to do it, but uGobela needs to be careful. Don't just roll anyone into it. Check the details and get that person to also confirm, because iDlozini like if ufuna uthwasa gogo lizokhuluma nawe.
Thokoza. When we speak of preparing or seeing readiness eDlozini to now Twasa, I'm going to also refer to lesson 2, the lesson that we had last Saturday. It will, when it is ready, like you say, when it is ready, that is only when people need to go and Twasa. And there will be signs that will show, signs that the eDlozini is mature. Like you said, that you got to your Gobela 6 years ago, he acknowledged that eDlozini likhona kuwe, but the time was not time yet for you to Twasa. So in that period, what did you do? What happened to you to now get you to the point? What did you experience to get you to the point where now you actually also understood that now it's time for me to go and Twasa?
Okay. Remember, if we're to look at it from my personal experience, I grew up as a staunch Christian. So this whole environment, Yobungoma, was foreign to, so to say. However, I had my grandmother and most of his family and his family got their grandfather being his uncle, but I never really associated much. So you can now imagine, eDlozini, if I were to really at that moment when I'm being told, that now eDlozini and I jump into it, what would have happened? It could have been disastrous. Hence, Gobela had to guide me first. One, we noted there were things that needed to be done that were traditional at home. So then I was sent to go and research first about ukuthi ndingubani. And kwenzeka ntoni wabe ikhona imisebenzi uGobela ayibonayo emathanjeni ukuthi kunomsebenzi wembeleko kufuneka wenziwe kulo babakho. Kunomsebenzi okuthile kufuneka wenziwe. So the 6 years between ukuthwasa and being ukuhlolwa was exactly that. I needed to go back and trace who I am. Ndisuka kobani. And do let me say that were outstanding. Why? So that by the time I'm coming into a process of Twasa, I'm not going to be blocked by amadlozi who feel that I undermine them and not listened and attended to the things that I needed to attend to first.
It's very actually important that a lot of things get attended to prior the process, because we spoke of also that there's different kinds of spirits. There's good and there's bad spirits and good spirits. There's light and dark spirits. And
Yes.
when we want to get into this, when we get into this situation, we want to be able to do good, which is to heal instead of to kill. And so the process is leading to prepare you for that. But it also brings in the element of the importance of family, because then at that point, when you're trying to correct all those things that have come up from your pamba being the things that you are being called for to fix within the family itself. So because when it comes to those things, you find that it's things that you cannot fix on your own, that you need the support of the family to be able to fix. How do you deal with situations where you have children coming that now need to twasa but have no support from their families? What do you do? Do you, in terms of making the process still legit because of how critical it is to have family supported, and so that the things are done right, that the process is legit, and that family is included, or as much family as possible is included. And if there's no family, what then gets done? Togoza.
All right. Look, family is the basic unit and the important as you are going to undertake a process of trust. However, not everyone have the privilege. When we're saying family, we're talking about the living, right? We're referring to those that are alive. Because again, I take you back to what I said earlier. Asithwasisi umuntu, kuthwasiswa idlozi. So there's two aspects of family. There's a family being amandlos akho that are pushing you to initiate. Then there's a family that is alive. It could be your parents, or it could be cousins, or it could be aunts, depending. But if family structures are imagine now, right? Now, it is important that your family is behind you in this process. For one reason, kufuneka kube khona umuntu okunikezelayo ukuthi le ngane engubani ezalwa ngobani sizoyinikezela. We are witnesses. We are bearing witness ukuthi ungene ephehlweni. Family is important because before uhambe uye kwaGobela, you are supposed to first uye ekhaya uyobika. You are supposed to uye emakhaya, whether kusemathuneni or wherever you are going, depending on the belief of your family. You need to be going to those places and notify the family, the physical, and the family, the spiritual, that now I'm undertaking the process. Those that are alive as family must always be with you throughout the time. It is important. But there are times where you're going to need to talk to someone, not to Gobela or Rabafowe, not to now. You need to talk to your family members. However, sometimes family does not believe in this process. Sometimes family is not there. What do we do then? It means when a family does not believe in this process, the first thing I always advise, engage them. Yet you are placing me in a difficult situation because if family is in the same, if family is not even supportive about this thing. We had a lot of people who come through the process of because it was like a DT, we've already drawn the line for you. And families usually catches up later. Because again, kuthwasiswa idlozi, but in family yako that is alive is important. But you cannot then say, simply because bona they are against in the terms of belief, you will not go through the process. That could be detrimental to you. So if family is important, trust me, by no means you should be going through a peshweni without notifying family or getting their support. By no means, please. However, when we're now going to push every time, yet no mama or baba, I always say that the best thing is bring them to Gobela. Let there be an engagement of some sort. Let there be engagement, open engagement. It could be based on stereotypes, or one of the family members once went to a peshweni and bad things happened to them. So they are holding that as an experience that you will also have. So sometimes it's important to open engagement with families before we are peshweni.
So, now we're speaking of a situation where you have done everything that you can and it is not possible. It is just not happening. And eDlozini is mature and eDlozini is ready to twasa and it wants you to twasa. What then? Can you speak? What then is done? I know that there are rituals that are recommended that will make. I don't know if it's about overriding the family or because sometimes it will be your mother and it will be your father that is not buying into being a part of the journey. But there is going to be a cousin, there is going to be an aunt, there is going to be a malume, you will have your brothers as well, siblings who will be able to support you, because those are family. In as much as you have support here, but it becomes a big thing. And I'm going to say that you're actually correct when you say that as you go along, the buy-in will come. Sometimes it never does from some people, but some people will buy in and will get to understand because of the way also it was and then you find that you actually do have that support. But masikhuluma ngokuthwasa, I also know that uthwasa idlozi lakho idlozi, and lidlozi lakho, it's still idlozi of the family. So what does ukuthwasa kwakho do for not just you, but for the family at large, even though it does not support you?
Yes. You see, you touched on a good thing there, Gogo, because when you're saying eDlozini uzolthwasa or elithuma ukuthi hambe uthwasa, is still related to the very same people that are against you going to a bedroom. That's why it's important ukubika and to connect with eDlozini before uye kwa Gobela, as we mentioned earlier. Because sometimes you need to even pass a eDlozini ukuthi ngicela ukuthi uaddress umama or ubaba or whoever it is that is against this thing. Help me intervene, because I would really love their support. So you have a responsibility, because eDlozini malilungisa izinto. For example, let's say into zekhaya zivalwe simply because umsebenzi or indumba isikhwama salapho asikhombe usithathayo, and you decide ukuthi I'm going to go and do initiation. You, by presenting yourself as a chosen one, I'm going to initiate, that has a ripple effect, which is always a positive one on the family. I remember at some stage, before even ukuthwasa nje on its own, we did umsebenzi kamama. She passed on a long time ago, 1995. We went, that was before I became a sangoma. We went home, we did just umsebenzi ukubonga ukuthi siyabonga ukuthi izinto zinoko zihamba kahle bomini. 2 days later, both my brothers who were not working at the time bathole imisebenzi. Into ke yokuthwasa nayo, if it was the purpose yovala izinto, it was a reason yovala izinto ekhaya, it will open up izinto even nakwabanye abantu ekhaya, even those who are against it. Yours is to always make sure that you intercede on their behalf. Baphahlele gogo.
Thokoza Kehle.
Thokoza.
The family element is very interesting because of how we have all been brought up, because of Christianity and the beliefs that the ancestral root or ancestral spirituality is demonic. So it's a very big dynamic, this family situation. So we say that people can go ahead. You do what is needed for you to do and connect with your eDlozini. Because at the end of the day, like you say, it is the eDlozini that is ready to twasa. It has nothing to do with you. So you go ahead and you do what you need to do. I want to go, for me it's also an interesting thing.
But okay, maybe let's make one clarification somewhere there.
Okay.
Family does not agree, right? You don't go against their belief, rudely so. You then just sit them down and tell them that because I'm the one who's suffering because of this thing, I am making a conscious decision to undertake this initiation. But all I'm asking is, don't be against. You rather I'm urging you to have an open mind. Because you know what will happen is, if you are going to walk out under the banner that, you know what, anyway, gamadlos that are calling me is not them, and you become rude to them, you are uvala izinto zakho wena as you're moving forward. So you don't become rude and start swearing at them. You try to win them with kindness and engagement. Towards.
Or you just also, a good stance I've learned is also to avoid getting into situations and arguments, is to remain quiet as well.
Yes.
Because as listening, you're not even living together.
Yes.
As long as they know that this is what you're going through, this is what you're
experiencing,
and you have tried to bring them on board and have failed, your eDlozini knows why.
Knows the effort.
That also in this journey, it really is a journey that is to be walked on your own, really, because it's between you and your eDlozini, and whatever support that family and friends bring or may provide is nothing compared to the support that you have to find within yourself. Because it's your journey at the end of the day. And
hence I was saying,
lonely journey, as listening. It's not, even when you do have people on your side, it's still lonely in that a lot of the things, even as you try to explain, you can see that a lot of things are going above their heads, or they are working very hard at not being judgmental, and a lot of the time you will still feel misunderstood anyway. And you also feel that you are not able to explain adequately what it is that you're going through, because at the time you're also just coming to terms what is happening.
To terms with the whole thing yourself. Yes.
Yes.
And that is important, because most people who are not initiating out there are making the decision based on the lack of family support. And then what happens? Then everything of theirs goes south. And that's what we always say to people. We are not saying go against your belief or the belief of the family. However, understand its impact to you first as an individual.
I think we've exhausted that one. I'm sure there'll be questions about the family thing, but we have actually really tried to cover as much as we possibly can. I'd like to speak to you about the red skate. You know, the red skate is so, there's symbolism there in why it is red. I'd like you to get into that. And I'd also like for you to speak about being, because you've been at Thwasa. It hasn't been too long ago that you were at Thwasa, even though you're Gobela now. So I want you to speak about what being in that red skate meant for you. It's thought to be a very difficult time, and I can confirm that it is. But what is it about the red skate, and what is expected of Thwasa while you are in that skate? Uthi, what is expected of you when you walk into a Kaya Liga Gobela? What are the things that you can do to make the journey also easier for yourself and also easier for the people that are helping you go through it?
I'll keep on touching on what I said in the opening. We don't initiate an individual. We initiate amadlozi. Now, we need to match Mthuthuzeli with the process of initiation. It means then this person needs to humble themselves. They need to humble themselves. That red skirt, you can't wear your fancy skirts and everything else. You all need now to look on the same way. You need to look alike. We're all going to be red. It means that we need to be united in thinking and focused. Our purpose becomes one. And Les Red Skirt says you are going to humble yourself to the processes of initiation. This red skirt means you are going to be led by someone else who's going to tell you this is what you're going to do and this is not what you're going to do. You might come from being a CEO and now you must go and sleep and do in pants or a dancing or something like that.
You're like my baba, I'm sure that's what she was.
That is a huge challenge, because you need to change the framework. How you made reference about Ubomi and your status, because this is not about you, it's about eDlozini. So that red skirt changes. It's like there's a standard uniform you're going to be given. You can't go against Lomiteto because you are here to be taught. To me, that red skirt symbolizes one thing. I need to leave behind Mthuthuzeli and allow Thwasa that will come on the other side as a Sangoma to go through the process properly.
It's a process that also is very open to abuse. This red skate situation, that Thwasa situation. It's a process that is also taxing of the person, like you say, so it's a time where you are learning to also to kill Celi. It means Celi, humble Celi. Actually, Celi must go. When it now gets to it's actually really about, you should have been dying. You should have so it's an assimilation Ndokona kusebenzisana. Because as we go on, I think you really do become just by the time you get to Intwaso. So pelile, you know, but there comes the time where you now have to leave Gobela and go back to society. And now in that time, now you have to also learn to bring back yourself and learn that relationship between you and eDlozini and how you approach life together. How do you teach your children to do that, Bab?
It's not easy, Gogo. We must not make it as if it's something you experience it yourself. I've experienced it. Nabanye Abatwasile, they've experienced it. It's not easy to live what you are accustomed to embody this new life and this new lifestyle. What I always teach Abantwana Mbambevuzi is simple. You are here because you are called. And I always make the analogy of a messenger. A messenger, Gogo, it nikwa a letter or a bag and is given one instruction: take it to this place and give it to this person. Yet the messenger might travel a few days before they get there. At no stage in the journey, they start opening the letter or the content of the bag, check the content, all of that, because they need to know their job was simple. Take this letter, take this bag, and move it to that place. Abantwana beDlozi babizelwa with the same thing. You are being called to go uphakamisa umsebenzi abantu bakokweni. Your job is to just make sure that you restore their dignity. Do not own it. Don't become you. Don't use Mthuthuzeli to analyze the situations. I cannot do that. Gobela always says one thing to us: it will only be successful the day we don't use ubutina. We allow umoya to dictate, because I might be a jealous person as Mthuthuzeli. By nature, I was born that way. I envy people very easily. I might be an aggressive person as Mthuthuzeli. Or I might be someone else like, this is who I am, this is what I've got. And that will always stand in the growth yomsebenzi weDlozi nokhula kwakho eDlozini. Hence, it is important that you try to match eDlozi nendlela ofundiswe ngayo with who you are. However, shed those traits that you know are not progressing you in society generally. Thokoza.
Yeah, in the preparation of taking on what the work that you are supposed to do, and yes, the understanding of what it actually is, because even as we twasa together, our callings are different, and so it now also is, and it's up to Skatan listening. It will be up to you to share with your Gobela, I think, that this is actually what I am called to do, because in as much as Gobela will see or will be told things, and because they've been chosen to guide you, the loti is actually yours. Yes. You know? And so the identifying the calling, what it is that you are called for. Sometimes it happens, people go through twasa and they actually do not know what it is.
Yes.
They know that they are called, they know that they are called to heal, but they have no clue of how they are supposed to do that. And also, I'm going to come back to how the Dwaso or the Petro period, the training period, the initiation period has become very short, and it does not, and in that time, a lot of the elements there's not much that you can learn in the time that is in Dwaso at this point. People to come out as a healer, you should learn umuti. You should have learned umuti. You should have at least a basic understanding of umuti. You should have a basic understanding of rituals. If you're going to go out there and heal, you're going to have a basic understanding of guhlahluba, and in the tools that are provided at your initiation school. But also there will be other ways of guhlahluba that you will find that you are taught as you go along in the journey yakho namahlotwa. It's what I want to bring now. I want to talk about is what you will talk about is how you maintain that relationship namatwasa when they have left, they've come out of your home, as Gobela. And now it's about Bakothulile. And now they are placed out there. They have to go back into society. And they have learned and they have, or they've initiated, but they still need a whole lot of your guidance. I speak specifically because in our Mpande, I'm out here now. I'm home. I'm fine. I found my feet and my calling. And as much as when I went in ePhehlweni, I already knew what my calling, my specific calling was. But coming out, I've had to find my feet and and grounding in how they want me to actually execute this, their calling and their work. How then? Okay, we have short periods of training, but in our Mpande we have also what we call the postgraduate program, which I found to be very handy because it helps to, in as much as now I am a Sangoma and I'm now allowed to go out there Gobela to come back from my homecoming. I am still under the tutelage and the apprenticeship of that home, so of the stable. And I like that. I also like when you have a big stable, because you will find also that whatever challenges, because we will have challenges, whatever challenges I have, there are other people that I will not have challenges with, and it also helps to and be able to get along. And for the sake of videos, I want to know about how you work with your Thwasas who have now gone out into the world, how you are still guiding them, how you assist in, and also because it's the relationship between the Thwasa and the Gobela post in Thwaso that I would like for you to elaborate on.
Okay. Gogo, that is very important. That is very important because in Thwaso is very basic by nature. It's an activation process. The actual work is going to happen most of the time outside when you are out of Thwaso. And you need to practice. That's when it was like start teaching you other things, bringing some requirements that they have. How as Gobela wala Neosi I do it is how I was taught. That it doesn't mean because of Ukuthwasile, then you don't keep touch. You don't check what is going on with them after, right? You keep to make sure you still check. There are programs that even now we are busy with the program December, because we have to always make sure ukuthi amadlozi basakwazi na uhlola labantu, basakwazi no-check is the relationship between bona namadlozi abo still intact? Are things okay in their lives? You need guidance. I still need guidance from a Gobela. I phone them, I go to them sometimes. I've got a client like this, I don't know how to do with this thing. There's no point where you are know-it-all. You still consult other people. So post into us, you have to keep track of what is going on in their lives. And more especially, some people uza egula ezothwasa uyagula. After you need to check about how are you feeling? Are things okay? Did it come back, the problem, or not? So that relationship is ongoing, Gogo. That's why Gobela is a mentor, Gobela is a teacher, Gobela is a facilitator of your process. However, Jombushi Loguti, Lidlos lack of veles of guide that will teach you as Nizindo, you'll find your feet, yes. However, it is important to always keep in touch or always be linked to the bigger body. As you mentioned, I didn't that you are going through, only to find out someone else has gone through the same thing, and the solution was already identified. And you are losing out because you are not in touch with everyone. That's why I see in a WhatsApp group these days, it makes life easier. Because in these WhatsApp groups, if as Gobela or Mthuthuzeli have come across critical information, they post it there and we're teaching each other. So that's the post-Thwaso process. It's an ongoing thing.
So I was speaking on that. Please speak on the importance of Mpande, of having Mpande. Why? I'm just bringing this up because I don't want to make a big deal of it, but what the advantage that we have as Zangomas that have Thwasad over. I'm not going to use the word Sangoma because I don't know if they are Sangomas, the people that the healers that initiate. I don't know what I just call them traditional healers or indigenous healers. Because I know that there's a reason why we are called Sangoma, and it
Yes,
also leads
yes.
to the way in which we are called and in the way in which in the way that we are taught. But so the healers that do not go through initiation, that self-initiate, I want you to touch on the advantages for us that have gone through this way, just for the learners. What are the advantages that, because some people will that are part of this lesson are not necessarily going to Thwasa. It's just to help them along their journey, their spiritual journey. So I do want you to touch on the advantages of having a stable, of having a band.
Okay. I'm going to first do a few things before I answer your question. Unguteli. Unguteli uzalwa ngubani. Ubani uzalwa ngubani. Ubani uzalwa ngubani. You can trace yourself until how far you can go, right? That's number one. Why is that important? It's because you identify with the way of doing things of ababantu uphuma kubo. That's number one. Number two, an engineer needs to be registered with some body, the body that controls engineers in South Africa. Doctors, there's so much professional bodies that are out there that are controlling. And I always similarize this thing with him. So it means we know where we come from. We know my training and most of what contributed to me to be who I am today, it was through Impande Etile. And Lampande is Ohamba and Kalebabusong in the Banbabum party, until the last person, right? It is important to have an association. I do not want to go to go to an issue of Abandu who are self-initiating. Unfortunately, I'm yet to meet one who will take me through the process, so I can't have a view on, okay, if you are self-initiating, then how do you deal with this? How do you deal with this? That needs Gobela, or this thing that needs a physical person to lead you because you can't do it yourself. So, to me, the value it is enormous. I wouldn't want to say Usasangoma or is a healer as an individual. For me, other people may feel differently, but I think you need an association. No engineer was not trained in a certain university or institute.
Of course.
You can have the skills born with it, born to know how to do engineering things, but you are going to be limited to a certain degree. That is the fact. You are not going to be recognized to a certain degree. Because you can't walk into ESCOM and say, I'm a valve engineer. Oh, qualifications, experience. I pull. Why? Because Umalume Wako was an engineer and he used to do this thing with you. So you know it in and out. But unfortunately, you can't prove anything. Those bunas into that you know to know. You are limited to what Umalume knew.
I'm also, let's ask now about, let's speak of, okay, it's a question I'm just going to pose is, how does one have Ndumba without going through initiation? Yeah, I'm throwing you in the deep end because it's come up.
Yeah, okay, no problem. Ndumba in what form? Because Ndumba is this Rondavel. It's referred to as Ndumba.
And Ndumba Nekon.
Exactly, because you go to see where you've been initiated properly. If unomsamo indawo, which is your shrine, where you pray, it's a different situation because that is for you. Ndumba is for its purpose, is to serve you and the society at large. That's the difference. Umsamo and everything else that you go and collect yourself, they are for you, basically. You use them, you can use them to heal people. We don't argue with that. We can't say, no, there's no way you can practice this. However, you must always check the issue of authority. On whose authority are you doing what you're doing? You will go and heal people without even initiating. I can't question that. It is possible. However, if one day you go and take me and say you're going to heal me, and Amadlo's Amu don't recognize you because they don't see any qualification or any association with a proper process with you. You just woke up one day, you were told, okay, to heal a coronavirus, this is what you mix. It's good. However, when it comes to Bungoma, it is deeper than that. It is broader. So you can't have indumba that's going to have people in and out. It's the same thing of you move from being a pastor to a bishop. Who ordained you? So you wake up and ordain yourself that today I'm a bishop. To me, God, it's impossible.
I'll take you back to the good and the bad, the light and the dark, because it becomes a very critical thing. But if Ubuntu can be your child and you have taught them how you were also taught, and
yes.
you're teaching to, you're initiating and teaching the way of light, because when we speak of healers, we are teaching healing, and because healing is light, so you are teaching goodness. And umntwana wakho, then you find along the line has, and you've done the necessary work with Mthuthuzi. You also want to clean this masake, if that was the history of evil and bad in the family lineage. You also want to clean that, and that is done. But it keeps coming up, and you end up that umntwana wakho has become something else that is not what was actually taught la Mpandeni. How I just want to speak up. I want you to speak on that topic of Buklina's Kwama and the implications and what it does to the spirit. Are you going to be reincarnating as a bad person again to traumatize Bandwana in the future generations and your lineage? You know, how do we treat that? What are your thoughts on that?
The first thing, let's look at what you were mentioning earlier. You are teaching what you were taught. In its basic form, yes. There are certain things that you are going to pass on immediately impact. You can't change those, right? However, you cannot, remember, as I said again, we initiate eDlozini. eDlozini is alive, God. It had its own way of doing things. It means then you must always incorporate the teaching that you got from Gobela with what eDlozini is teaching you. So in learning or understanding what you are teaching your kids as eDlozini, do not limit it to what you were taught. Otherwise, you are going to have a problem that you are becoming stagnant. eDlozini is an extension of Gobela wako, and it's not. eDlozini has its own way of doing things, although it is within respect, because eDlozini respects. That's what the difference is. eDlozini will respect him. If there's a deviation, you will go to Gobela, hey, there's a deviation here and there. How do I go about this? Right? Because you are now being taught by eDlozini. That's number one. Now let's talk about clean up kwama. That's why kune process which is amadlozi amdaka. It is important that during your initiation process, it could be done ekuqaleni or before the end. That process, it is important that it is done, because what you don't want is to inherit isikhwama esimdaka. You are going to go uloye, and when umane uloyiswa, because kunedlozi amanye livela sithi kuwe enza kanje, shaya lo ngezulu. Lelo dlozi lelo idlozi enemikhuba elenza into ezirongo. You are going to pass that now to other kids. So it is important that she clean with isikhwama. However, then you must also check one thing. Kukhona isikhwama that lihamba liyoklinwa kwaGobela, ukwenziwa i-rituals kwaGobela, kwenza zonke izinto ezo, but kunezinto ezi-family related. Mhlawumbe kwakuthwelwe ekhaya. This thing you can't only clean when as an individual kwaGobela. It might need ukuthi sometimes kube nento yesintu eyenziwa ekhaya to deal with that problem, because its roots are deeper than you as an individual. So when it is identified, uGobela can guide, of course, how do we cut this thing so that it doesn't move further than me? But that is important, because as you may need your family or may need your clan at large.
Okay, there's one question here that I'm not going to let go. We have 5 minutes. But yes, I would like for you to touch on, I think you'd be able to get, on how we have, because now I know that it's a big challenge for Banfulaba in this present times, or the modern times that we live in, that we are professionals, we have jobs, and then we're also required to touch on 7 weddings. So how do you, as a Gobela, now would you advise Bantu how do they go about that? Being able to to come and initiate, but be able to go to during the day to be able to go to work. How do you assimilate that?
Okay, first, Ukuthwasa eDlozini alikhuphi gogo to your life as you know it. It complements it. This notion that ma uyothwasa, you leave your job and all of that, I always go against it and I say, I wish to meet someone. That's usually the expression I hear. So it means how are you going to
let me say, okay, let me just say, I'm just going to put it in here. Let me put this lungu.
Yes, that's a difference. Lababati, I've heard it means they don't want to go to work. It feels like now, how are you going to survive this day and age if you are not having an income? Are you not going to be falling into a trap of using your clients as a source of income? Are you not going to fall into a trap of using eDlozini as a source of income?
Okay.
That is dangerous because that will breed evil. However, when eDlozini have an issue with you to upangele full time, then it is an engagement that you need to start in eDlozini to survive. Because you're going to need to survive. Expenses that you need to make sure that are covered. And eDlozini, I don't think there's no such thing. So you need to engage eDlozini properly as an individual. And again, I always say, everything you must look at it from your own perspective. What are the challenges that you are facing? How is eDlozini communicating with you? But there is no problem between ukusebenza and ukwenza umsebenzi weDlozini because you book appointments as depending on your availability. But you must always make sure that everything is done in moderation. You don't leave umsebenzi weDlozini and push your own. Serve eDlozini the way it deserves to be served. However, please have a way of making money so that you don't fall into the trap of using your clients as to pay your bills.
I love that actually. Thank you. I love that because that is actually where we are finding challenges now, as in relation to Dangoma. People are making money of Gobela want to make money off Mthuthwasa. Dangoma making money off their clients. I wish also you're going to be working for free. Of course.
Of course. And remember the issue of money, Gogo, is an exchange of money is a sign of respect for umsebenzi weDlozini. It's a sign of respect for eDlozini. That's why back in the days, they will bring a live animal, being a goat, a cow, whatever it is, to go and offer as a way of saying, thank you for helping me doing this. But today, in battering here, we do it in money. That's a commodity that we use. So money, but money is not in the center. That's why, again, I say it is important. What is called of Puma Kuso. People teach these things so that we ask what is important. We were taught that imali eDlozini, yes, you use it to expand. It is the same principle. You go to bring your tithes or whatever it is. Everywhere you go, imali apparently today it is the only way that makes the world go around. So it needs to be the only thing that we are going to do. No, unfortunately, I don't have a place where I can put goats and stuff like that.
I've seen a place at yours. You think where my goats catch.
Don't pick it up.
In the birds, and you have a smaller and a call over there, right? by your Duba. So I know when eDlozini wants its things, you find a way to actually make them.
Of course.
Yes, I was like, but yes, it is a challenge. Because Abangoma have no other ways, of the healers that have no other ways of sourcing and of making a living. They find ngiyole, and ngigo sekuthiwa ukuthwasisa is a business, become a business, and bantu bathwasa bangasiko ready, and it's because of the fact that people find this is their way of making imali. So basically what Mkhulu is saying is that Mangabe bedloti lakho has not kicked you out of work in trying to show you the way to go, what you are supposed to go and initiate and take on the work of your calling or the work of your ancestors. What he's saying is stay at work. You can go through the initiation process while you are still at work. Also, your Dlozi will guide you to Gobela that should make your Dlozi should make it possible for you to be able to navigate the space and be able to pay Gobela wakho, because at the end of the day, phandle kokuthi uyamkhanyisela vele inkomo kaGobela kufuteke ivele, and kufuteke ivele from somewhere. And the times that we live in, we never have savings. We live from hand to mouth. We do not have cows because of the way life has become. We are not coming. We do not have land, like Mkhulu says. Even if you did have, so the money is the currency that is used, and itholakala kuphi? Itholakala ekuphangeleni. So we go still phangela, and mawuphangelile mawuphuma ephehlweni uvuka ukuthi uhambe emsebenzini. There's things that you are supposed to do. There's kuyabikwa as well. No, Gobela will be that this child will be going to work, and so there's nothing that is done in the time when you are ephehlweni that is not reported to eDlozini. So the Dlozi, emadloti wakho, be kept in the abreast of what is happening. Not only abreast, they should be brought into the picture and make them understand, this is now, these are the times that we live in. And this is how I'm going to be, we are going to be able to actually also pay Gobela their dues. This is the only way we can make it possible to work and to actually take on the work that you are giving to me. So, Gogo, ekugcineni kwakho konke is yonke into leyendekako uma usephehlweni is iyabikwa. Lokhu bakuvumako bayakuvuma, labakwalako bayakwala. So, Mkhulu, is there anything else that you want, that you think is burning, that you want to teach people that I may not have asked? I think we have 2 minutes.
2 minutes. All right.
And then you
only
say
the only thing I'll say to anyone, Ukuthwasile or says Ukuthwasa, and everyone else who's being told Ukuthi they are called or who are exhibiting all the signs, please respect the people that called you. Do not embarrass them. Do not embarrass them, because you are an extension of umsebenzi wabo. However, please, mawufike phehlweni, make sure that you gather as much information as you can. Learn. Being an initiate, Gobela is there to facilitate. You need to present yourself to the process. And you need to make sure that you are making them proud in the process. What you are doing, Gogo, we are proud of you. We've seen you coming through this process, and you are extending umsebenzi weDlozini in a way that you see fit and eDlozini agrees with. And by so doing, you are touching lives one way or the other. So it is important that we identify our purpose. And developments abantu will be different. People will develop differently. Do not put yourself under pressure to say, I'm supposed to by now have been able to do A, B, C, D. I'm supposed to do Gobela, whatever it is. No, not all of us are going to be Gobela. It depends on eDlozini ukuthi lalingu Gobela na. You can't just take umsebenzi of eDlozini lalisiza kwa Gobela and when ufuna uGobela. It doesn't work like that because it does not have that aspiration. Umsebenzi walo is to serve.
It's matured to that point, you know.
Yes.
Even if it was a Gobela, like my Mkhulus were Gobelas, but yes. Am I ready to be a Gobela? Has it matured in that way? And am I called to be a Gobela? And there are so many ways also to teach, and there's so many ways, and we're all called differently. Yes. What I found to be good for me is that it's just being true to myself and being true to the people whose work I am called to do. And ngiyabonga kakhulu as well for the support that I continue to get from ekhaya, and I know that there's so much work that needs to be done. Ngiyabonga kakhulu Khehla. Ngiyathoba kakhulu. Siyaphasa ngelitolo sithi siyabonga kakhulu Mkhulu.
Thokoza.
Thank